everyone, this is Marlene with Building Zion. Welcome back. And today we're going to be doing another food storage prep kind of video where I show you guys what to do with your food storage. So a lot of people have things like this in their food storage, hard red wheat, and there's also hard white wheat that you might have in your food storage. You can get these through the LDS cannery, and you just go online to lds.org and you can find these to order. And a lot of people don't actually have this because they don't know what to do with it, or they have it and they don't know what to do with it. So you can get a wheat grinder and grind it up to make flour, but there's also a lot of things that you can do with it in its wheat berry form. So hard red wheat in its wheat berry form looks like that. And we're going to try and sprout it to make it into healthy greens that you can use in a salad, that you can eat just as is. You can also do things with it. It cuts the gluten, so you can do things with it to then be able to bake with it later that you wouldn't be able to do with just the wheat as is. But then in future videos, we're also going to talk about some other things that you can do with wheat in the wheat berry form. So if you don't have a grinder, or you're like, I just don't want to go through all that grinding nonsense, then I'll show you some other things that you can do with it. So also, if you are someone who has not really started saving up some of those food storage items, and you're wondering, well, you know, what kind of things do I get? Where do I get it from? The LDS Church, they have their cannery, and their things are pretty inexpensive. You can get a box of 6 big cans like this, for as much as you can get like 1 or 2 cans at most of the other places. So they're a good option, but they don't have a big selection. So they're just the basic staples. But get those basic staples through the LDS food cannery, and then get some of like those other things through some of the other places. Okay, also there is a video from the Provident Prepper. If any of you guys follow them on YouTube, they have a really good video about sprouting wheat that will give you more information and maybe even a little more concise than I can give you. So I'm going to link that in the description for you guys to also watch. So, okay, so we're going to look at sprouting wheat 3 different methods, and we're going to see how they turn out. So one of them is the mason jar method, and I have one of these tops right here that I can put it on top and it will allow air to get through. If you don't have a fancy little top like this, then you can use like parchment paper or a cloth that breathes really well, but my sister gave this to me for Christmas, so we're going to go with that. And then also, this is the mason jar way is the one that I see most of the time online to do, but I seem to remember when I was a little girl, my mom sprouting wheat, but I feel like she used like a container with paper towels or a plastic bag with paper towels. So I could be totally wrong. Maybe my memory is like way off. That was like, years, like 30 years ago or something. So, but at any rate, I feel like it's worth a try. So that's what we're going to do. Okay, so your mason jar here, I have it just filled up halfway. And then you get a tablespoon. Now, some people will want to bleach their water so that they know that it's actually really clean. But we have a Berkey, and I filtered it through the Berkey, so I feel confident that our water is clean. But if you do bleach it, you put a few drops of bleach, and then you'll put your wheat in there, and then you'll rinse it several times to make sure you get like actually all the bleach out, because you don't want bleachy wheat sprouts. That would be so gross. Okay, so then you're just going to, with your water, you're just going to get a tablespoon of the wheat berries, That's what it says here on my instruction anyways. Pour 1 tablespoon of seeds into the mason jar of clean water. So that's what we have. And then it says to let it soak for 15 minutes. So we'll put that to the side for right now and let it soak for 15 minutes. Let's see, what does my time say? 1:02. And then we'll go over here to our other 2 containers. So, let's see. I'm going to get, you know what I'm going to do? I've got this in here. See, you know, this is just how we roll here. We just experiment. We don't know what we're doing. So I've gotten these wet, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to dampen this paper towel. And then spread it out. We're going to be dampening several paper towels here. So then we're going to spread this out in the little container. And then I'm going to drain the water off this now that they're wet. We'll just use our little top to get the water off. And then we're going to take the seeds and put them in here where the paper towel is. I can get them out. Scrape them all off. Okay, and then I'm just going to kind of spread them around in there. They look kind of like that. And then I'm going to get another paper towel, get it damp so that the seeds don't dry out, they stay damp. They can still breathe. All right. And then we're going to cover the seeds. Set it on top so they're all covered. And then we'll just set that aside for right now. Just set that there. All right, now we have our plastic bag. And we need some more seeds, so I'm going to put some more water in here. Put some more seeds. There we go. Get this other one wet here. Now this one, I'm only going to need one. So I can fold it in half. So we'll spread this back out. And then I'll just lay it out. Get our seeds all nice and wet. Pour out the water. And then, here, I'll tilt this down. There we go. All right. And then we'll put these out on the paper towel. Okay. There we go. And then spread them out. So, and then just fold it over on top, and then we're going to put that right here in our plastic bag. I can keep from spilling them all out, right? adjust them a little bit here. Okay, so then you don't want to close the bag because it needs to have air to breathe. So then just set it over to the side. All right, then we'll start over with our jar here. Put some more in. Okay, so then we're going to soak these right here for 15 minutes. And then after 15 minutes, we'll dump the water out. And then we're going to turn it upside down in this right here so that, you know, more of the water can come out, but it'll also let it breathe well. So we're just going to leave that like that for a minute. You're also going to want to come back and check these guys right here and check the ones in the bag to make sure that they're not getting all dried out. They'll dry pretty quick, so you'll want to come with a spray bottle and just kind of spritz it, not soak it. Just spritz it to make sure that it's staying moist. And then, let's see. Really, you want to soak them overnight, usually about 8 hours. And let's see, it says seeds are now ready for growing. Make sure that the seeds are on the wall or base of the jar and not on the lid. Okay, so when we dump this water out, then we want the seeds to kind of be spread out on the base and the top, not down here on the lid, but spread out, not all clumped up. Keep the jar at about 45 degrees angled with lid facing down. So that's what we'll do when we put it in here. And then place the jar on a tray to catch excess water dripping. Okay, that's our bowl. It says rinse the seeds 2 times every 8 hours with clean water. And then sprouts like alfalfa and broccoli. Who knew you could sprout broccoli? I didn't even know. Are ready at 96 to 104 hours, approximately 4 days. Okay, so this takes about 4 days for them to sprout. And there you go. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back in 4 days and see if they have sprouted, if the ones in my jar, my bag, and my little container have sprouted. Real quick though, I want to take you guys outside to my little garden area because you're going to see my garden area. It's small and it's a disaster. And I want to show you guys my disaster garden as it is right now because lots of people have expressed to me who have started gardens for the first time this year. They have expressed the frustration at not getting very much. They've spent a whole lot of money, a whole lot of time, and hardly anything has grown. Most everything has died. And so we have to remember that this is an education. What we are doing is getting an education in gardening because we didn't grow up gardening. It wasn't a normal thing that we did like everyone else, you know, in the past. So I'm going to show you what I've done and what we're planning on doing, hopefully in the near future, coming up here. So we'll take this and we'll go outside. Okay, so you can see right here, my garden does not look all like happy and beautiful. It's kind of a disaster right now. I have this zucchini here that has given us 3 teeny tiny little zucchinis. This whole thing of it being so easy to grow zucchini and they grow ginormous, no. That has not happened for me. So, oh, and then these right here, I have these tomatoes. So I only have 1 planted over here, and then I have, I think 4 more planted on my patio over there. These are tomatoes, and you can see there are flowers on these tomatoes. There's flowers on all of them. They've been flowering and growing big. Not a single tomato, not one. And I thought, well, maybe it's a bee problem. So I tried putting flowers over here. This is a marigold plant. It's doing fantastic. It's doing the best out of everything I've planted, my marigold. But, you know, and I come out and I'll shake these guys to see if I can pollinate them, and nothing, absolutely nothing. So I'm pretty sure a friend gave me these. She brought me a whole bunch of potted in solo cups, and I believe they came from hybrid plants. They were suckers or seeds from hybrid plants. And if you have something from a hybrid plant, it's most likely not going to grow. So you see these stubs right here, these things? I've got several of those. This was so far the most successful thing in our garden. This was romaine lettuce. We got tons of lettuce and they've already turned to seed. We've got the seeds in the house. Hopefully they will grow. Little tiny bell pepper growing there, super cute. Back here, I've got these strawberries. Oh, looks like this little plant is dying. But I've got these strawberries. Only this little middle one right here is putting off any strawberries, but they're super teeny weeny. Like you can barely even eat them. I'm not sure why they're not getting bigger. And artichokes, I planted artichokes and they're just not doing much of anything. And you can see how many weeds are in here. This all needs to be dug up. But okay, so our big success for the year so far has been romaine lettuce. All right, and then coming over here to my patio. Oh, this is a loquat tree. That won't be ready to produce any fruit for another couple of years at least. These have been successful. These are chives. Have chives every day. These are some more of those tomatoes that have produced nothing. And that one's just falling over. But we're going to pull them out and get rid of them. And this, I love this little guy. This is a little peach tree. It could be ready to produce fruit as soon as next year. We'll see. And then these, we're going to see how these do. Some of you guys might know what these are. These are sweet potatoes. We planted in bags. And we're going to see how they turn out. The awesome thing is that these leaves right here, all these leaves are edible. I don't know if you knew that or not, but they can be eaten like lettuce in a salad, or you can saute them up like spinach. So it looks like we're going to have a good amount of these to eat, so at least those will be successful. And then probably within the next week or two, we're going to be digging up these potatoes, these sweet potatoes, to see how they are. And I've got a couple other pots out in the front with actual, like real, I say real potatoes. They're, yeah, I say real potatoes. You know, they're like little Yukon Gold potatoes. And I had to get them out of the backyard because I don't have a covering, and they were just getting too much water. We've been getting quite a bit of rain, so I had to put them in the front over the front awning. And those should be ready to come up hopefully within the next couple weeks. So we'll see. But again, you can see, we have not had a whole lot of success. What we have is not a ton, but we put a lot of time and money into it. And we just have to remember, we have to accept that we have not been raised as farmers. We have not been raised planting. My mom, she did a garden a couple times when I was a kid, and so, you know, I did learn a couple things from that. And then we would go out and to my grandparents' garden. They had a big garden area, and we would pick things and snap beans and help stuff jars for canning. But even at that, that's such a little knowledge, because each plant is its own science. You have to learn what each plant needs. And some plants you can put by each other, and other plants, you know, they hate each other. They'll poison each other, essentially. And so it's a process, and it takes a lot of time. And so be patient with yourself. Please don't just throw your hands up and say, well, that's hundreds or thousands of dollars we put into that and got nothing. Keep going. Keep the things that worked. So next year I'll say, hey, it worked really well, the romaine lettuce. worked really well, the chives. Last year I did do collard greens and we did really well at those. I didn't get to do them this year, so I'm going to do collard greens again. And I know I'm going to get a lot of sweet potato leaves, if no sweet potatoes. We're living a high on the greens over here. So those will be things that will be going: lettuce, romaine lettuce, collard greens, and hopefully the sweet potatoes come out well and the chives. So I know I'm going to at least be doing those things the next time, and then we'll work on getting some of the other things going. Not doing anything that's hybrid. Get rid of the hybrid stuff, because you can't replant it. You can't use the seeds from it later. And make sure you know where your stuff is coming from. It's so nice that my friend gave me all these plants, but literally they did nothing for us. I watered and watered and watered them, used dirt and fertilizer and all this stuff, and nothing. So just little tidbits of things that we've learned this year. So, but here in Georgia, we're going to have a fall planting season as well. So within the next week or two, we're going to be pulling stuff out and putting new stuff down, and then we'll see how that all turns out. But I know a lot of you guys are finishing up your planning, getting ready to harvest stuff for the year, and then that's it. But all right, so that's all I got, and we'll be back in a few days, hopefully, to see how the sprouting went. So we'll see you soon, and talk to you later. Bye.